What's good, everybody? Welcome to episode 19 of the Art Meets Culture podcast. I am your host, Ade Sanusi. Yes, we are almost at 20 episodes. I'm so excited. Our 20th will be a good one. Thank you so much for supporting the podcast and the platform. Your support has been phenomenal as always. I'm always going to be thanking you each episode because, it's something, special to the community, special to me. Do you know what I mean? I just, decided just to kind of just crack on. I just put myself to work, get the podcast done, interview some dope artists, who's never been on the platform before. I've revisited a few artists who I was just interested in to see where their story was at. But yeah, it's been phenomenal. The growth has been amazing. And, I'm excited for what's to come, after this lockdown. Because hopefully we'll be out soon, do you know what I mean? Because I got many things that I want to explore, many ideas that I want to tackle to help expand the platform and build. You're going to see a lot of dope stuff going on. So, what can I update you guys with currently? We're going to be opening a store. The Art Meets Culture store will be opening very soon. I'm just working in the back with a few things, just trying to negotiate a few things with some manufacturers and stuff like that. I won't tell you what we're selling. It'll always be, random, but cool stuff that can be in the home and everything like that. But I don't want to say too much. But yeah, I'm going to do a sign up very soon. I'm going to announce it once we're ready to go. I'll announce a sign up for everybody who signs up to our list, who is interested in purchasing, great products from us. You'll be able to get that directly through our mailing list and through the store. But, we'll prioritize with people on the mailing list first before the store. So if you get to the store first, if you get to the mailing list first, and you get the emails and everything like that, and we'll be updated when we'll do drops and everything like that. So it's gonna feel great. I don't want to say too much personally, but yeah, be on the lookout for that mailing list. As for shows, we are in the beautiful works about doing one. I don't want to say soon, but we're just in talks because I don't want to give a timeline on anything. But we're going to be doing a special one. So any artists who are interested in doing a show, please DM me. Once you've heard this, DM me, directly with your work and stuff like that. But also I'll be doing a call out as well at the same time. So look out for that. But, if you want to, get in early, let's have a conversation. Let's see what you want to promote and push. I'm sorry about that beeping noise. I'm always in the window doing something. So someone's always working. We are all working. But, wow, that's very loud, but it should be passing very shortly. But yeah, without further ado, I'm going to talk about my guest, Tori. Tori, she is a phenomenal creative. Actually, she did say she figured out what she was, and it's maybe what everybody who's listening is. The correct term, which she says, she is a multipotentialite. That word kind of just threw me a little bit because I didn't know what it was. It was something new. But a multipotentialite is someone with many interests and creative pursuits. It's not by. There is a TED talk by a lady called Emily Wapnick. She goes in depth about each superpower that the creative has. She talks about idea synthesis, which is one that I usually have. Idea synthesis is where ideas meet at the intersection, and the intersection is I have let's talk about like colors. So we have one a white paint and a black paint, and if you mix them in between, you're going to get that gray area, so you get gray. But yeah, ideas come with collaborations, and I think that sparked my mind because it's like, I've got art and I love music, I'm going to put them together. That's how I create Art Meets Music, and and so on and so on and so on. They also break down I always keep forgetting multi-potentialite individuals. They're good at rapid learning. learning new things, absorbing new ideas, also, and they're adaptable as well. Adaptability, we got to wear many hats, be adaptable to any situation. So sometimes you have to be the social media guy, the branding guy, the events guy, the video guy, the podcast guy, everything. You got to be everything. Do you know what I mean? And I think, in this day and age, it's shied upon because everyone's like, oh, you just got to be a specialist at something, specialist at, like, nah, the world's too screwed up to have one person do, specific things. You know what I mean? Obviously, the saying, jack of all trades, master of none, it's kind of put like an insult to it, but it's like we can be multifaceted, but it's multi-potential. Like, we could all be multi-potentialites. We are multi-potentialites, and we can execute anything and everything like that. So salute to Tori for bringing that up. But myself and Tori, we work together on a brand called Ish Couture, so we go in depth about that, which was a clothing line, but also helping support designers as well. So we looked at designers like herself, another artist called Antonio Gordon, Richard RXD, Uncool Kids, the Moon Runners. We were working on a line with them. So even I was working on a line, which I've still got the dope name and I've got the designs with it, so that you might see some cool stuff coming out of that. So I might launch that stuff through this brand. But we were a brand that was helping designers with our platform, from jackets to t-shirts to sweaters to hoodies, to accessories. So we were really going in with that, so shout out to Reg, who gave us the basis to do that. Then she came on board and started becoming she became and still is the event photographer for Art Meets Culture. She's captured some phenomenal images over the years, and she's captured the best images thus far in terms of moments, the dope artists who've been on there, showcasing people's first shows and everything like that, documenting rather. But yeah, you can check that all on our Facebook, Art Meets Culture. All the images are there. I might post a few, might create like something like a cool collage for that, but yeah, she's created some dope stuff, and she's now pushed herself creatively, because she's gone from art, doing the art herself, photography, what else, customization, entrepreneur, and she runs an Instagram page called Her Cuts UK. I said it right, Her Cuts UK. So check that out. But I don't want to go too much into it, because I know I think I'm rambling on. I'm about to just expose the whole entire podcast. But this podcast is, is a good one. It's a long one, and it does require a part 2, because we probably spoke about only 50% of what's been going on in her life. She also runs a YouTube channel, does talks about her being homeless and everything like that, and it's amazing. But yeah, check her out. Check out Tori. She's definitely someone who invests in herself and puts her money where her art is. So please like, share, subscribe. I got a phenomenal fan base on SoundCloud, and I salute every single one of you who are listening around the world. I'm going to definitely start doing shout outs to countries soon. I'm going to just point out, the top countries who are listening. But I see you all, and I thank you so much, from your Americas, your US, for people in Niger, Ghana, Sweden, France, Spain. I don't even know how you understand me in these countries, but phenomenally, like, I thank you. Do you know what I mean? If you speak English and understand it, I salute you, for taking the time to feel inspired, to feel what we're doing, because that we're out here to motivate and push this culture the right way, in a dope way. Nothing corny, but just dope. Like, what it is. I mean, if anybody knows me, I like to push dopeness at a high level, high quality. None of that Ridley Road Market style promotion or selling. We want to do our high-end quality because, you know, us as artists, us as creators, you know, we're royalty out here. Do you know what I mean? So I want that energy pushed on every level, you know, quality. So yeah, thank you all. Spotify listenership, like, I see you all, amazing, you know what I mean? So anybody, even, I don't think people use iTunes no more, which is crazy. iTunes podcast, but you know, because a lot of people are listening on Spotify. So anybody who's on Spotify, salute to you, you're nang heavy. So Spotify, SoundCloud, and anybody who's now newly going to go on the iTunes and download and, you know, support the thing, salute to you also. But yeah, you know, I'm Ade Sanusi. This is Art Meets Culture podcast. You know, put your money where your art is. You know the vibes. Let's go. Welcome, Tori.
Hey, what's going on?
How are you?
I'm good, man. I've had a good day.
I know we're gonna do our professional ones. We're gonna treat this as a normal conversation as possible. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But thank you for coming on the podcast.
No problem.
I wanted to get you on, basically on the side of photography, because I do consider that an art form that people may not look at. Oh, it's not really art, it's just people taking pictures and stuff like that. But it's a skill. You do color palettes, you have presets, you do tones, you do everything. And you're someone who has worked with the platform for years. So introduce yourself.
What? Okay, so yes. My name is Tori. Just rebranded about 6 months ago, maybe. Actually, almost a year ago now. To Tori Lens, previously known as KBD. I'm a photographer, known as a photographer, but also known for other creative elements as well. So, yeah, fashion, editing, video editing, painting, all this creative stuff, graffiti, you know, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, but I guess in this sense, I'm known as a photographer and, yeah, all-round creative genius. I found out a couple of days ago that I'm a multipotentialite. So that was really interesting. Yeah, man, it's a real thing, man. Google it.
So what, I mean, first off, let's not limit this to just photography, because you're more than that. Do you know what I mean? I probably highlighted photography, but you've been developing so much over the years since I've known you, you know, from customization to running brands to now running a massive social platform, you know, which I'm not too sure if you want to speak about, but
we can touch on it.
Yeah. And, you know, just evolving from that. So you're definitely, what is the word? I was going to say multifaceted, but
multipotentialite.
But now you're a multipotentialite. What is a multipotentialite? Is it something about potential, or?
It's let me get the actual Google definition, because it will say it a lot quicker than I will say it, because I'll go all around the world.
Okay.
But yeah, I've always been a multipotentialite. I just didn't know that that's what it was called. Like I didn't know that. So a multipotentialite is a person who has many different interests and creative pursuits in life. Multipotentialites have no one true calling the way specialists do. Being a multipotentialite is our destiny. We have many paths and we pursue all of them, either sequentially or simultaneously or both.
So how did you figure out you were that?
I was having a conversation with Dion Reed.
Dion.
Yeah, and shout out to Dion. And can't remember what we were talking about, but she was just doing her pack. She's just done a pack for people like during this quarantine time, to kind of like help people that are, not even if you're struggling, just everyone really has got a pack of like mental health, physical, like all these things that you can do. And we were talking about it, going back and forth. And before we left the conversation, she said, I had a conversation with Ruben. Shout out to Ruben as well. Ruben, another great creative. And he was saying that he figured out that he was a multi-potentialite, and he knew that Dion was one too. So when Dion spoke to me, she was like, oh my God, this is what Tori is as well. Like, so when she spoke to me, she told me, and now I've been looking into it, and I'm like, yeah, this is literally like my life. Like, I think it's kind of difficult for people that have like various creative avenues, if you like. I wouldn't say necessarily like all these passions. I would say like things that you really delve into, because the world kind of tells you that you should be one thing and you should you shouldn't do one thing, which I understand, because I understand the discipline in that. Like I get it, but for me, it was always a struggle, like from when I was young, always a struggle. And I just got to the point where I was like, okay, well, I'm different. It's fine. I know that me and Dion are the same, so it's fine, kind of thing. I stopped trying to like be that, because when I tried to do one thing, I just felt like I was killing my soul, man. After a while, I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like I feel like I'm dying inside. I need to do something else, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So when I looked into it, there's also a woman, I can't remember her name right now, but she's got when you Google it, her TED talk comes up, and it's literally everything she was saying. I was just like, yep, this is me, yep, absolutely everything. And I always say I feel like I have superpowers, like I can do all these things. And literally in her TED talk, she talks about superpowers, and I was like, yeah, this is literally me. Like, so yeah, it's I think it's good. I think there are downsides in the fact that people don't understand it, so you may see me as flaky, which I struggled with a lot. I think I still struggle with a little bit now.
In terms of what they think, or
because I think what they think, because I think if people deem you as flaky, they may not deem you as professional. And I think I don't really mind, or not that I don't really care if you think I'm flaky on a day-to-day, like whatever. But I think if you're like a professional, business professional, or a brand or someone, and I may come across flaky, I think that doesn't necessarily go in my favor. So I struggle with that a little bit. And I think I'm at the point now, I only discovered a couple of days ago, right? So I'm at the point now where I'm trying to, or figuring out how to relay that to brands and people, and even just in my professional world, as a positive, because it is a positive, like having delved into different areas of life. Like, as you know, like, or as people may not know, I started out drawing, funny enough, painting, and then I went into dance and choreography. And I did that for a while, and I had a dance company, I had a dance group, all that kind of stuff, won awards, blah blah blah, all that stuff. And then I moved into
we can't blast through that whole I draw, I used to dance,
but it's like all these things, like even going from like the choreography world into the skating world, and then bringing my dance skills into the skating world, and that's been a thing. Do you know what I mean? Like having like, not, I wouldn't say one up, but like having like that kind of, those skills transfer over, and then being like, oh, I want to customize, I want to paint stuff, and then starting out painting on like shoes, and then painting on roller skates, and then, do you know what I mean? Like it all kind of moved over, and then from obviously doing that, choreographing and dance, all that kind of stuff, I moved into photography, because I started making clothes, and literally making clothes from scratch, and no one could shoot them the way I wanted to. So then I decided I want to do photography. I'm going to learn how to do this, and I think I could do it great. So then I learned that, and then that moved on to going and doing shows and stuff, which actually, funny enough, you Ade gave me my first, shot at doing a show. Shouts you.
What I love about Tori, I'm gonna slow you down.
Okay.
She is blasting through her whole entire story so quick, and I'm like, let's talk about the details bits. Do you know what I mean? Because we're literally, now you're at the point of art meets music. I'm like, no, they need to hear
go back
your creativity for, from you were doing the shoes and all that customization, and you were known as
I was known as KBD at that point.
Yes, which meant
that meant Notorious Bespoke Designs. Notorious
as in the whole KBD move, because I know you're blasting through the story. Like, this is me. I'm giving you everything. Do you know what I mean? And it's a testament to your personality and what you've achieved, because it's been such a long journey.
It has.
And I'm even listening. I'm thinking, Tori's got to say these stories, man. We got to hear them. we got to listen to them, and hear how she's developed and grown.
I appreciate that, man. Okay, so like I said, I've always known I was a creative. So I think for me, I think the best way for me to describe it for someone who wouldn't necessarily understand if they're not like me is to say that when I started one thing, whatever that one thing was, because I was curious about loads of things, it developed, and I think it developed naturally. So, for example, if we're going back to when I was drawing in like primary school, that was kind of like, oh yeah, it's great, you can draw kind of thing. Obviously being from Nigerian parents, it wasn't seen as something fantastic, but it was just like, you know, you're kind of just drawing, right? And then when I went to secondary school and I wanted to learn how to sew, which I failed, by the way, just so people know. I'm sewing now and I'm good at it, but I failed, so don't let those kind of things stop you. But yeah, so from going from that point and then having been made to draw my clothes before I created them, which I hated doing, was kind of where I guess my drawing skills kind of developed more. And then I would want to like do it great, right? So then I'd have like these cool titles, and then that's when I started learning it or looking into graffiti. So I started doing graffiti titles, and it was kind of didn't really make sense with the things I was kind of creating. But yeah, I just kind of went in that, and as I said, it developed. So I started off with, you know, drawing my dad's stereo in the living room, to then drawing clothes on, you know, models on like a piece of paper, to then creating these great titles. You know, in school when you had the people that did like not textiles, but they had like DT and they had those see-through folders. Yeah, and you'd be like, oh, I want to customize it, because again, what do you want to do? You want to be original, right? Exactly. And I started graphing my name on it, and then everyone's like, oh, do one, and then that grew into something. And then you kind of just leave. I kind of just did it, and it kind of lived, and it was kind of like there. But then when, you know, let's say fast forward now to like college and being in college, and I think that's when I really started. That's when KBD was born, in college. My upbringing wasn't necessarily traditional, so the college I ended up going to was because I ended up in care with my grandmother, so I had to change the college that I wanted to go. I didn't have to. I ended up changing the college I went to, and I ended up changing what I was going to study as well. So I ended up studying performing arts, advanced performing arts, and because I guess I wasn't in my home environment, I was pretty much free to do what I wanted. My grandmother was just like, make sure you come home, make sure, you know what I mean? Like just basic things. So I was literally free to literally be myself. So, and also being in performing arts is super creative and it's super expressive. It's super like, you do what you like. We were running around in the common room singing and doing all sorts of stuff. So it allowed my creative mind to kind of like really flourish, if you like. So I, as well as doing like performing arts and singing and dancing and choreography, which I absolutely love, I also started doing more graffiti stuff. But then, whereas I told you I was doing graffiti on the folders in school, in college it turned to doing graffiti on a jacket. Like, 'cause I was like, I want to be original. Like, I'm going to college and all the girls have the same jacket as me. We've all bought the same jacket. We've all, do you know what I mean? Like, fashion was so like one-sided at that point, where everyone shopped in the same shops and bought the same trainers, all that kind of stuff. And I was like, nah, man, like I want to stand out. So I would start painting on my jacket, and then I started sewing like my name in bubble writing on my jacket. And people were like, oh my, I want that. I want one for me. And that's at the point when I was like, no, I can't give you the same thing I've got because it's original. I can give you something that you want though, that will be original to you. So when I do it, no one else will have what you have, kind of thing. And then that's kind of where like KBD kind of developed. At the time it was called ND.
That's the first time I'm hearing about that.
Really? It was called Notorious Designs, as in Notorious as in N, as in Notorious, the way you spell Notorious, and then Designs. And the reason why I picked Notorious is because everyone in school used to be like, no, Notorious. Like, everyone used to sing that to me in college, like, all the time. So I was like, so I'm going to call it Notorious Designs. I design, I do, like, all sorts of stuff. So that's where it started. And then I had a conversation with my dad, and he was like, oh, Notorious isn't a good thing, you know. It's not good to be known as Notorious. You know, it's not good to do that, you know. I was like, okay, I'll change it to KNOW, as in get to know Tori, Notorious. And then another person, like an adult that I was kind of like in my life at the time, kind of said that, oh, what you do is bespoke. And I was like, what the heck is that? Like, what's bespoke? And he's like custom. And I was like, yeah. So then obviously, say it again?
Yes, yep, that's me.
Yeah, yep. So that's kind of how KBD was born. It ended up being Notorious Bespoke Designs, as in Notori, KNOW, Torious, and then yeah, KBD for short. And yeah, that's literally how KBD was born. But I never limited myself to doing one thing. KBD was always like custom, like anything that was custom that I was doing fell under that umbrella. So even if it was like I was doing a graphic, and obviously at that point I started learning about Photoshop and stuff like that. So yeah, I kind of just, anything that interested me that I was like, oh, I really want to create, I don't know, a poster for my designs, like, you know, like on MySpace when you had like these
Yeah, all the
posters and stuff,
HTML stuff
right?
and
And I
whatnot.
was like, I don't get that computer stuff long. I just want to make something and just put it in there.
Mm.
And then that's when kind of like Photoshop kind of came into my life. And my friend kind of taught me the basics of Photoshop. And I was like, cool, got the basics. Thank you. Love you. Like, I'm going to go off and do my own thing now. So yeah, it literally developed organically. I feel like it did. Like every step I wanted to make, and the more I wanted to be better at what I was doing, present myself in a way that was like conducive to me, I kind of just made the next step to the next creative thing. Do you know what I mean? And it kind of just went on like that. And yeah, and then I started but I stopped doing jackets and stuff because it got super long. Everyone just, the orders got too much. So I was like, no, I'm not doing kind of jackets like that. And then I started customizing my trainers, but I wasn't painting words. I was just changing colors of certain things. So I remember this is when Harachis were like the ting, and we had like the grey and red ones that everybody had. And I was like, no, everyone's got these. So I changed a section of the grey to like blue. I literally bought fabric paint. I'd never bought it before, used it before. I just bought it and I was like, let me try if it works, see if it works. And I changed a section of it like a navy blue, and it looked sick. And I was like walking around Catflins, and guy was like, oh yeah, like I got those. And I was like, no, you don't.
You
You
know,
know those guys.
It's like, why are you breading it for?
Right? Them guys are just like, oh yeah, they're hard. I got those. I was like, do you? These? He's like, yeah. I was like, no, you don't. He's like, no, I do. I was like, no, you don't. Like, no one's got these. He's like, what do you mean? I was like, I made these. He's like, what, for real? No. And I was like, yeah. And then that's kind of, I got a little bit of naming in my area as like custom. Like if people saw me, they'd be like, yeah, she made that. Like she made that kind of thing. Yeah. And then I went on to like doing words, like graffiti, like actual words on trainers when I hooked up with a friend in college, and he was good at doing graffiti and stuff. So he taught me some like wording, like some lettering. Again, I was intrigued, so I just sat with him for hours watching him paint shoes, and I was like, oh my god, I want to do this. So then I went from like color blocking to graffitiing like names and stuff. And then because I started skating, I wanted to do my own skate, so then that became a thing, and I just transferred what I knew from painting trainers, painting skates, but then skates are plastics. It was like, there's a whole nother avenue of like figuring that out. So then I figured that out. Like I ruined my skates, like I literally ruined my skates, like trying to figure it out. And discovering acetone, which is like amazing, like wiping down my skates like every 2 months and just changing the design. People are like, oh my god, you got bare skates. I'm like, nah, I've only got one pair. Yeah, like just changing up. And then just like I guess learning the basics of things that I wanted to learn that were interesting to me, and then just doing them my own way and finding things my own way. And and then at that point I started making clothes, so it only made sense to me to customize the sock that you get in trainers. It's kind of like material, so it only made sense that obviously I might as well customize this as well because I sew. So I started doing that as well. I remembered what I learned in school, the basics of a sewing machine in school, and I just kind of just went with it. And my sister bought me a sewing machine for Christmas. I had an old one, she bought me a new one, and I was like, thank you. And I kind of just went like ham with it and just started sewing everything, customizing everything that was material, hence my skates. And I kind of did that. And yeah, like I said, it just felt it when I'm thinking about it now, because I haven't really said it back in a long time, but it's really like, and I guess knowing what I am, or what kind of, not box, but kind of like where I fit in the world, it's made me realize that actually everything has like been, it seems like looking on the outside looking in, that it's all weird. Like, how did you go from like painting to now customizing to graffitiing walls? Because I did like a couple walls, like a couple walls in my house, couple walls people I know, like from that to then skating to then photography. Like people are like, what? There's no link, but there definitely is a link. They're all like little tiny small minute things that I was interested in that led from one thing to the other, like naturally. led from one thing to the other. So it seemingly can seem like, oh, she's super flaky, or they're just jumping from one thing to the other, when actually there is a link. Sometimes there isn't. Sometimes it's just like you see something, you're like, oh, that's dope, I want to try that, just for the sake of it. But I think for the years that developed me, I would say up until 22, they definitely were like links from like the very start to like when I was 22, 23. There was definitely like links in it, and a lot of the links were like out of frustration, like wanting to photograph something and being like, oh, no one gets it, they don't understand what I'm saying, and then having to do it myself and then figure it out, and then figuring things out along the way and being like, right, I can do this, oh my god, I can do this, oh my days, and then like having the ideas flood in and be like, oh my god, I'm gonna do this, yeah, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna make, and because I can do Photoshop, I can make posters, I can do, so even my Instagram game was a little bit higher than most people's, because there was things I could do. I could literally get material, make an outfit, shoot myself, post it, add a title, do you know what I mean? Like, and be like, boom, I did all of that. And people were just like, what do you mean? Like, and that's because of all the things that I did in prior that led me to be able to do those things, and then offer that as a service to other people as well. So that's kind of where KBD, that's kind of,
that is like an incredible, journey and story. And it like I said, like you said, it doesn't feel random. It just feels like this is like your training and your development to being, the creative that you are. Many people would think, oh, she's supposed to have a traditional route, maybe go uni, maybe study design, maybe study art, or do something and then have that. But this was like more or less, look, I'm just trying stuff and I'm making all the mistakes I can right now, because in the end, I'm going to be great at this. So that's like, sick and amazing to hear in regards to that story, because I don't think you've broken it down like that to me.
I don't think I've broken that to anyone, to be honest.
So it's like, it's sick to hear. So from designer, or whilst designing, you went through the whole skate world, in them quad skates, which I hate because I don't know how to use them. But you went for the quad skates. And what I say, I'm just guessing, this is just me doing the guess, this route now leads you into Ishkature.
Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah. Okay. So I was skating and I linked up with Smurf. Shout out to Ty. And we, funny enough, like we knew, you kind of like, when you got like ends, like people in your ends, you kind of know people in your area. And I knew of Ty, aka Smurf. I knew of him, but we'd never met, but I knew who he was. And he ran a roller skating event, and I was like, I want to like tell people
Wheels in Motion, correct?
Yeah, Wheels in Motion, yeah. So I was like, I really want to get in there because I know that I can customize roller skates, but I'm not in the scene like that. I wasn't in the scene like that as yet. So I tagged, funny enough, we were friends on Facebook, don't understand how, but again, life. So I tagged him in a couple of things, and then he was like, oh my days, this is sick, da, da, da. And then he kind of like, we had a meeting about me joining Wheels in Motion. SSC was the name of the company. Supreme Skaters Elite. Me joining the team as a customizer, as a skate customizer. So again, they could offer us an extra service, which was really good, smart business thinking. And so we connected. I joined SSC and then became a member of people that run in Wheels in Motion. So we did that on a Thursday, which was dope. And yeah, from that, I guess me and Ty used to like hang out because he's kind of like, he does like graphics and stuff like that. He's quite creative as well. Actually, he's very creative. So we would have conversations about things that I couldn't with other people. And then we'd have ideas and be like, yeah, oh my days, like we do. And then I was like chilling with him like a lot. Like we literally became like codies, like proper chilling all the time. So things he would go to, events he would go to, he'd kind of like bring me along and like, oh, this is my Cody. Like this is like, you know what I mean? Introduce me to people. And then he knew Reggie. I don't know how he knew Reggie, but he knew Reggie.
I think he knew Reg from, well, this is how we came to par. So Reg and Lionel, when I joined Maish and the whole Ishkature side of things, Lionel was like he was an intern at Universal Music with Reg at the time. So he used to be doing some intern bits there. And then I think they were working the party circuit as well. And then
Yeah.
Lionel and Smurf, they're best
Like
friends.
best friends, yeah.
So I think, they were all around that whole entire circuit. And then that's how everybody kind of connected the dots from
Connected.
there. Yeah.
Yeah. So then I guess I got brought into that circle
Yeah.
because I already knew Lionel. I already knew, like, obviously Ty, because if you know Ty, you know Lionel. You can't know one without the other. So then, yeah, he was like, I think Reggie was looking, I can't remember what Reggie was looking for, but he was looking for a designer for something. I don't know what it was for.
Well, for everybody out there, because we're talking with no context
Yeah,
right about
right?
now.
Oh, right.
Ish
Sorry.
Couture is a brand that myself and Tori, Reg, Smurf, all could I say co-owned together? Yeah, we
Yeah.
co-owned it, and we built 3 amazing commercials. They're all on YouTube. But what Reg was discussing with me at the time was he's looking for designers to run their own brand through Ish Couture.
Oh, yeah.
So essentially, what we were doing was we would be the base, so it'd be like Ish Couture. But like Nike, they have their Nike Basketball, Nike Pro, Nike Fitness.
Yeah.
We were essentially looking for designers to lead that. Essentially, what Nike are doing now for, like, I'm just naming names you may not know him, like Ronnie Feig, who does stuff with Kith, so it'll be Kith and Nike. Jerry Lorenzo,
that makes sense.
he'll be doing stuff with Nike. You had the whole Kanye thing, Air Jordan.
Yeah.
So it's like stuff like that. We were looking to go down that route in terms of working with designer, whether it be cut and sew or on a graphic basis as well. But we were giving them the base t-shirt, varsity jacket, sweater, hoodie, and then letting them lead from there. So that's where we sourced Tori out.
Yeah, and also for reference, Ish Couture is from My Ish, which is obviously a music.
Yes.
I guess
Label
licensing company brand kind of thing.
Yeah, so they're like, again, I used to work for My Ish. So we basically used to look after the likes of Deneo, Incisive, Julia Marley, Princess Naya, Troy Hudson. And the whole ethos was to brand what's Reggie's word? I'm trying to remember what he used to say. I literally forgot it. Slipped my head. But basically, profile build. That's it.
Yeah.
Reggie always used to emphasize, we've got to profile build these artists, build them from point A to point B, and they can do whatever after, because he's really like pushing the artists to the highest degree.
Yeah.
So our goal was to profile build all the acts, music videos, photo shoots, brand deals, many things. You know what I mean? And Ish Couture was our baby essentially, because obviously he was head My Ish and everything like that, music side. But he gave us an opportunity to own a company and actually build something out at that time.
Yeah. It was dope as well, man.
Oh, very dope. I'm literally thinking about it all now. It's like, right, we actually did all that stuff.
As we're talking about, I'm like, oh man, I totally forgot we did that. Like, we proper did that. Like, I totally forgot.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was brought on as someone that was going to work with Ish Couture. I guess, e.g., Ish Couture X KBD, I guess it would have been. But then Reggie was like, no, man, she does too much. She's like, no, it's so much more than that. I think we had a conversation. And he was like, what you do? What else do you do? Like, what? How did it start? And I was kind of like, I guess similar to this.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, okay. He's like, okay, what you do is dope, yeah, but but I think like you could be like on the team. And I was just like, okay. Don't know what that meant, but I was like, okay. And then it was I kind of just got brought on the team rather than being working with the brand, as in like together. It was like you're going to be working on the brand with us, which I was like, yeah, I'm down.
Yeah, it was sick. And I think it was much needed energy, because it was male dominated in that office.
Oh yeah.
So bringing you on board, actually it wasn't, we had Patrice as well was there.
Yeah.
But bringing you on, and then we had the fashion show to deal with, and then the commercials that we shot as well. from your perspective, tell us your experience through both
with that.
with the fashion show and, you know, the whole production of the shoot as well, which is amazing for me as this experience. I'm literally thinking about it all now. It's like, right, we actually did high level production
We
in that
literally did.
space, and I'm probably underplaying it, you know what I mean? But once you see the visuals, you'll know, okay, they went in. Do you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
we didn't shoot. I don't think we shot anything normal. To me,
No.
that don't feel like it was normal. That feels high end to
No.
me.
And it wasn't a beginning type thing. It felt like we've been doing this for like years. Like when you watch it, just like, yeah, they've been doing this, they've been doing this for years. And it was like, no, this is our first video. This is your first video. This is your launch. Like what?
Yeah.
It was kind of like, what the hell kind of thing. Yeah, I need to shout out, like, obviously Reggie and the contacts he brought on as well, because it wasn't just like just us. Like it was definitely like, you know, like led by Reggie, but we kind of added our, do you know what I mean? Our elements, our skills, our expertise onto it. He was like, you know, this is what we're going to do. And it was kind of just like, you guys do it the way you would do it kind of thing. And I thought that was amazing as well. Being able to, thinking about it now, it's probably like the best thing ever. Like someone giving you like a base and then being like, this is the ideal. This is what we want to do. Yeah, this is great. Okay, how would you do this? And then being like, okay, now do it.
You got to look, sorry to cut you. You got to look at it like this, like, who's giving us amateurs this opportunity to look, I want you guys to figure out how we're going to shoot this commercial. I want you guys to figure out how we're going to do some socials. It's like, okay, cool. And I think we didn't even doubt ourselves
at all.
That's what's so sick about me. That's what I'm thinking about now. That was so sick. We didn't even doubt ourselves. We literally just shot this video and be like, yeah, boom, we're doing this. This is the music we're using. These are the storyboards that we have. Yeah, and you know, also shout out to the production team, they're Moon Runners as well at the time.
Yeah, sick.
You know, and all the people who participated in it. But I'm literally reminiscing now, thinking heavy. I'm gonna actually repost that whole entire thing.
Fam, I was just thinking the same thing. I was like, I need to repost this. I need to post this. I need to like so many things we did. I think even with the fashion show, which was, I guess, more solely us, we had more of a creative like feel, like whatever you wanted to do was like do it, make it work. Kind of thing. And for me, I feel like the video and that kind of stuff was, I don't want to say overwhelming because that's probably the wrong word, but it felt like very big. It was big. It was extremely big. Like it was huge. And I think being able to have the like confidence that we had was, I guess, unthought of, especially knowing that I'd never done nothing like that before, not on that scale ever. So having that confidence, but actually having a team around you that were kind of like, everyone was the same, even though we weren't the same. Like you were treated the same. Like, what do you think? Okay, what about this? Versus someone's asking you that and they've had 10 years experience shooting and they're asking you like, what do you think? Do you know what I mean? Like, what's your take on this? Like, how does this look to you? Like, when you say this, do you know what I mean? And having a voice just as important as other people, I think was very, very, very important to that whole process.
Nah, man, we got to applaud ourselves. I'm literally deep in it really loud because I'm looking at like, because you know the stuff we're seeing on Instagram now, like even like ads from Nike or any of these brands, I'm thinking we executed something very well. We shot it very well. And I think we had supreme confidence on it. And, you know, I got to give big love, you know, to Reg for installing that in us. You know what I mean? 100. I know he's listening. Shout out Reg when he's listening to this. But I know he installed big confidence in us just to do it. Because 9 times I'm thinking, did he really intervene on shoot day for us to do anything? He was there. But he mentioned a few things, but it was me. I was literally running around. And which, you know, salute to him for allowing us to do that, you know what I mean? And I think we need to celebrate that hard, you know what I mean? 100. That was a sick moment, you know what I mean? And anybody listening now, search Ish Couture clothing and you'll definitely see those 3 ads that we
on YouTube. Search it on YouTube, it'll come up.
So like, we did some things, you know.
Some stuff, man. And I also think that's what has allowed us to be great in our entities that we are in now. Like having that confidence and knowing like, oh, Ra, we did that, or like I did that, like, you know, with the help of whoever, but my input was just as important as someone else's. Do you know what I mean? And my viewpoint as well was just as important, as in like where you've come from in life. and having the viewpoints you have and being like, yeah, that makes sense kind of thing. Because as you're saying it, yeah, Reggie was there and he definitely had a presence, because Reggie has a presence anyway, even if he's just standing there just saying nothing. He has very much has a presence. But yeah, there was very minimal times he'd be like, yeah, just do it.
Yeah.
He'd be like, oh, Reggie, what do you think? He's like, yeah, just do it. Like, does it make sense? Yeah, just do it. And it was like, yeah, man, it was almost like, how can I say it? Like, your dad's teaching you how to ride a bike, and he takes off the training wheels and he's like, just ride, like, you can do it, you can, I promise you can. And you're like, oh, are you sure? And he's like, yeah, man, just pedal. And then you're pedaling, and before you know it, you're like, I'm like doing this, and you're just off, you know what I mean? So it kind of was like that, like giving us the confidence to be like, yeah, you can, like, yeah, that makes sense, you know what I mean? Checking in every so often, but being like, yeah, no, that makes sense, yeah, do it, that's cool.
Yeah, and big up Reg, man. Like,
yeah, shouts to Reggie, man, 100%.
Like, you know, an important person, you know, in my life in terms of, you know, learning and actually just doing stuff. And, you know, some of these words definitely still ring today. You know what I mean? It's always like, you know, maintain the image of success at all times. You know, just be about it in every step of the way and in every room. So salute to Reg. So it's like because it's like our timelines start to connect from Ishka Chore. And then it was literally, I was 4 years in Maish, and I was like just at the stage of just, I need something different, and I think that was going to happen anyway for me. But I think I just, you know, hit my point, you know, working with Maish, and I just said, you know, I need to create something very different. I created various things. It was social architects for a time being. And then, you know, I just started being obsessed with like art on Instagram. And then I said, let me do an event. You was newly doing photography.
Yeah, then. I think at the point when you started social architects and you wanted to do events, I think I was maybe like a year in, but I hadn't done anything for like major for other people. Like I'd done a few like dance shows here and there, and again, because I was a dancer and people knew I was a dancer, like, oh yeah, Tori, she's good, she can do it, kind of thing. And also that also what's made me good at doing dance photography, because I was a dancer, I could preempt things that were about to happen. Like if someone was about to flip, I kind of knew, because you dance or you're a choreographer, you have a set, you kind of know these kind of like cue points. So I was really good at that. But I'd never done anything outside of like my shooting myself and shooting like people that I knew, like dancers or like friends or stuff, even though it was paid work. I never did anything outside of like my own community, if you like.
So definitely it was me understanding that, okay, cool, I need to use the people around me, because one, it's a new event, a new concept. I didn't know any photographers then, and I was just like, Tori, you want to shoot? And you know that, you know, kind of, I don't want to say it started your journey, because I never want to take credit for anybody's thing.
It's funny because my journey started when you asked me to shoot for, when you like, okay, my photography career in regards to events, let's just say in regards to events.
Yeah, in regards to events, you know, I would say, you know, it was the starting point. And you know, you've been with us for years and captured some iconic images and imagery from the event. So, you know, how is your full transition now from artist, skater, sometimes still skates, the designer and brand owner, and now, you know, into photography?
I feel like I said, photography was always there. I think, as I've said prior, it's kind of just evolved as I've evolved. So the things I was shooting before, like I said, was clothes and stuff, because that's what I was doing. Do you know what I mean? And then going to like doing dance events is because I knew dancers, you know. And then funny enough, my first ever event, like live event outside, was I want to say Grey Wolf or something. What was Thingy's?
Why does it sound so Grey Wolf? Who was Grey Wolf?
No, it wasn't Grey Wolf. That's not the right word. That's not the right thing. But it was oh my God, what's his name? Planet Alex. Who did she work with? What's his name?
Acoustic Afternoon.
Yes, that was my first.
Acoustic Live, Box Park.
Yeah. I'm saying Grey Wolf. I think that was the name of the brand or something. I can't remember.
It was the name of, I think Grey Wolf was like their whole agency at the time or something like that. Like something,
Right. So I did work with them for a little bit. I think I did like 3 or 4 events for them. I did them for free because I was like, I've never done events before. And then after doing that, I think that's like shortly after is when you started your events.
Yeah.
And I started shooting your events. And that's when I was building my photography team, my all-female photography team. We were called KBD Pics. Yeah. Oh yeah, KBD Pics.
Shout out to the team.
Yeah, so that's when I thought like I can build a team of like female photographers, and like because I've also noticed that when I did events, because I started doing your events, I started doing other events, I was doing like things here and there, and I noticed that there weren't a lot of female photographers. So I was like, I need to build a female photography team, because I feel like in these spaces I'm the only female, or sometimes one of the only female, and a lot of the time, if there was another female, she wasn't black. It was like another white, woman or someone, with some huge camera, with some huge, like super intimidating, like what the heck is this kind of thing? It was really interesting, because even like building that team, I learned a lot of things. Again, it's just an evolution of what I was doing. I was here, I was like, I'm doing photography. I love doing events. Not like I don't love it, but like I love capturing moments. I love capturing moments. Is what I love about photography, like capturing moments. So I love that element of shooting events, and I'm very trigger happy. I still am. I shoot like 1 million pictures, then I'm like, because I gotta make sure I get the right one, kind of thing. And then also the fact that I have friends that were singers, and I shot them. It also allowed me to shoot things that people wouldn't shoot, because I understand what it is to be a singer, being around my friends. And like, I was a point when I went on tour with Dion and Dion Reed, and I got to know like certain things about singers and, songs and how songs are. We don't really think about how things are kind of like structured. And, there's like a high point of a song, or like a key change. And that's when the, emotion changes. And so I was ready for those things. So when I shot Art Meets Music, I think those things definitely helped me out. Like I would watch, be in, I don't know, performance that will be happening. I'm like, I know something's about to happen now. So then I'd rush to the front and like I just know. I don't even know how I know. I just knew that, this is going to be a thing. You know what I mean? And then also wanted to capture like the atmosphere. So often I'd be like at the front, like shooting, and then something would happen, and then I turn around and shoot the crowd, and I turn back, and it's like doing all these like extra things, because I'm super hyper aware of like what's happening and what's going on, and how I feel when I'm listening to it, and I'm not even listening to it without my camera. I'm like, oh my God, that was a note. Like I'm like, oh my day, like I'm excited, and I'm like, I know people around me excited. I need to capture that. So it's kind of just like being aware of all those things, and having all those things embracing all those things to make me a great photographer, like not forgetting that I'm shooting, even though that was a dope note, or that was a dope song, or this is mad hypey. Like I'd be like, I'd bubble for like 2 seconds and be like, I need to shoot this because it's dope and I'm feeling it, but I need to capture what I need to know. I know why I'm here. I need to capture this kind of thing. So having those kind of like moments, and embracing those moments, and embracing the things I knew, or the things I did in my prior life, and the things people are around, definitely helped me with like events and stuff. But it's been a pleasure, because I've met people and met artists, and connected with people that I never would have connected with before, and been like, wow, that was dope, or like, oh my days. And do you know what I mean? Having conversations with people just for the sake of, and being like, oh bruv, like I wasn't at the front, but I caught your set and it was sick, kind of thing. Like, just so you know, kind of being like, oh really? Like, I was like, you didn't see me vibe because I was shooting, but it was sick. Do you know what I mean? So like having those conversations was also important as well. But,
that's sick. And the mad journey of Art Meets Music as a whole, and you've captured the best images possible for the event. So from event photography, you started to do more, should I say, street shoots, studio shoots, and everything like that. How talk about the transition, what you wanted to expand more on
so I think
journey.
As most multi-potentialites,
I'm gonna mention that. I find more research more on that, actually.
Yeah, man, definitely Google it. Like I advise everyone to Google it. But yeah, so I didn't want to be known for one thing in terms of photography world. I knew I was more than one thing in the photography world. Like I knew I could shoot like I don't know, like products. I knew I could do like headshots. I knew I could do like someone's album cover or EP cover. Like I knew I had those things inside me, and I had a desire to do those things. And I wasn't necessarily super vast at like studio stuff, only because I didn't really know about lighting. I only shot with natural light. Or I did have like an external flash, but I hate flash. Like even to today, I still hate external flash. I feel like natural lighting is like the best thing ever. But yeah, so what I did is, because originally I started photography way before, funny enough, when I was 20, maybe like 19, 20, can't remember. And I worked for a woman called Hannah, and she had a brand called Avit Clothing. And she had a studio, like a photography studio. She was like, oh, you can run it and use it whenever you want. And I was like, okay. I wasn't a photographer at that point. I took a couple pictures, did a couple things. A couple people used them for like their EP cover and like people that I knew. But I didn't really delve into it. I kind of just left it when I left like working with her. So then coming back to it, it was kind of like it wasn't necessarily all the way new to me. I was like, I'll kind of understand it, but I didn't understand studio lighting. So I kind of reached out to her again, and she had a studio. And I started working there. I think I did some stuff there. No, I in the beginning, I just hired the studio just to play around, like literally just to play around. I was like, I need a subject, so I'd be like, oh, do you want to shoot like a free shoot? They'd be like, what, you want a free shoot? I was like, yeah. Just pre-warning, you may not like any of the pictures. They may not turn out right. I just need someone to shoot, kind of thing. Yeah. So I did that for a little while to kind of understand lighting. Was dumped on YouTube. Love YouTube. University of YouTube, great. To understand about lighting and stuff. And then again, because of my prior experience, I picked up things quite quickly. So it only took me a couple of months to kind of get into like shooting and lighting, studio lighting. Yeah. And then I just started shooting people like, oh, can you do headshots? Yep. I was like, yep. Even I'd never done it before. I was like, yep, I know I can do it. I can play around with lighting and kind of get it. Like even in an hour slot, I can definitely get, your 5 headshots. I can definitely do that. So, and I started to understand that I reverse engineer things, which I didn't know I did before. So I would look at, I used to like, go on.
No, so yeah, break that down.
Yeah, so in everything I ever did, I would learn the basis of something and then see something that I liked and then tried to figure out how they got there, like working backwards from the end result. And then that's how I would do whatever I wanted to do. But I didn't realize that's what I was doing when I saw things or when I wanted to like try things. So when I started photography, I realized, well, actually, someone said, oh, yeah, listen to something. And they were like, oh, just reverse engineer it. Like, start from where it is and break it down into layers and go backwards. I was like, oh, my days, that's what I do. I actually do that. So when I saw a picture, for example, of like a portrait or something, I could figure out where the light sources were from because I learned about light. And so I'd be like, okay, that light was there, that light was there. I think there's a third light here, or that they use a ring light, or they use it because I knew, I see like, things I did. So someone says to me, I want to do a headshot, and I'll be like, oh, can you send me an example of what you want? I still do that to today. Send me an example of what you want, because then I can reverse engineer it and then give you what you want, like with the same elements, but for you. So people be like, headshots, send me an example of like, yeah, boom, I could definitely do that. I understand how that works, and kind of just play around in the studio, tweak a few things, and then kind of get it. Majority of the time I'll get it like first, second, third try. I'll be like, yeah, boom, now I know how to do for the next time quicker. So I kind of did that, went into studio work, started doing headshots, which were cool, but I'm a creative. I like to do things with like colors and stuff. So I started shooting people's headshots, but then saving the last 10 minutes or so to do something fun with color. And 90% of the time they use the ones that I shot at the end, because I wanted to get them for my portfolio. Like I was like, I've got what you want, now I'm gonna get what I want, and maybe you might like it. And 9 times out of 10 they end up using the one that I use, because I want to get to know them. I'd make them laugh, we'd have conversations, and I'll just shoot like more natural rather than staged, which I prefer. So then that went into that, and then I went into wanted to shoot stuff outside because studio got quite static for me.
And this is what led to like the smoke bomb shots,
smoke grenade stuff.
Smoke grenade shots.
So I was like, I really want to do color stuff outside. I really want to shoot like motion stuff again, being a dancer, being a skater. I'm like, I want to shoot people that's like in motion. I think those stuff is really cool. And then especially like Nike being like a brand that I really like, loved their like branding, their visual branding. I flipping love it. So I was like, I want to shoot stuff that's in motion, like seeing like runners or like whatever, like athletes is like, oh, this is dope, I want to do this. So then I kind of went into that. And then I saw a guy on Pinterest, funny enough. I can't remember his name. I really should remember his name. It's really bad. But I think he's from like, I don't know, he's not British or English or American. He's not like English speaking, if I remember correctly. And he had a big skull on his head and he had smoke coming out of like, he's so known.
I think he's from Latin America.
Yeah.
But he literally builds these, he'll build like a whole stick, but then he'll put the smoke grenades on them and he'll He's amazing.
He's the first person I saw doing smoke grenade stuff. I didn't know who he was at the time.
While you speak, I'm gonna find him so they can search.
They can search him. Yeah, but he was the first picture I saw, and he had a big skull on his head, and he had like all this smoke coming around him. It was all different colors, and I was like, "What the heck is this?" Like I'd seen like, you know, like gender stuff or a girl like jumping with it, and I just thought, nah, what's he using? And you know, on Pinterest you click on one thing and you kind of go and it takes you into like a wormhole of all these things, and I was like, oh my days. Then I found out smoke grenades, like smoke grenades, need to get that, need to try that. Then I kind of googled smoke grenade shots, and it was again like, not, he was the only one that was doing stuff that was like super like incredible. And he's made a whole brand for himself, like just literally solely doing that, like literally. And I didn't realize, I didn't find out until maybe like a couple of years later. But I kind of like had that in my mind and was like, cool, but didn't know who he was. I only found him on Instagram maybe like a couple of years ago because someone tagged me something and I was like, oh my god, this is the guy, is the guy, kind of thing. And I was like, yeah, he's sick. And yeah, so when I Google smoke grenade photography or like how to
Butch Loxin,
yep. Yeah,
Butch Loxin, he's
a madman.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, he's a flipping G, man. Like literally. So that was the kind of image that stuck in my head. I didn't save it, fun enough, on Pinterest, which is kind of a good thing. So it means I didn't obsess over him. I kind of just had the idea in my head and just wanted to do it my own way. And and then I started trialing with smoke grenades, buying them, finding out where to buy them. But there wasn't a lot of like at the time when I started, which I think was 2016, if I remember correctly. Yeah. He wasn't anyone doing it. There wasn't a lot of things. Everyone was kind of like amateur with it, kind of just like basic with it, not in a bad way, but like very not really super creative with it. Yeah. So I was like, all right, cool. This is gonna be my thing then. Since no one's really doing it, like he's doing it, but he's doing it completely different to how I'm doing it. I'm gonna do it. So I kind of just went with that, and it took I would say it took like 2 years or almost 2 years. I think I started 6, 17. Yeah, maybe like a year and a half to 2 years for me to really like understand it. Like I wouldn't say I wasted a lot of money, but a lot of money went into like buying grenades, trying grenades failing, figuring about like wind speeds and rain and all this kind of stuff, like, which I think most people probably wouldn't have done. But you know, being me, I'm super obsessed. I'm like, nah, I know the images I have in my head, I know I can get them, kind of thing. And then just literally just being like to my friends, hey, you want to smoke grenade shoot? We want to do a shoot, can you help me out? And like going to people that I knew I could shoot, I've shot before, that would look good on camera either way, making sure I get them the shots that they wanted, like as well, I can exchange, and then making sure I got what I want as well. So it was a fair exchange all round, which I'm all for. Like definitely about like, if someone's going to help you out with something, like what do you want? Like what shots do you want? Let me get those as well. So we both kind of benefit from this. So yeah, I started doing that, and then just kind of guess known for my smoke grenade photography, which I'm known for. I guess it could definitely still build and be known like more for, but I'm definitely known for that. I would say like in like the UK, if anyone knows the UK, I'll be like, oh yeah, like they got to go with the smoke, yeah. And everyone wants to try it, and everyone wants to do it for no reason at all, which is great for me. I'm like, yeah, let's shoot, man, like let's do it. But it's not as easy as it looks, which I always tell people. Like people always ask me for tips.
There's like a technique to it. Even like scrolling through his Instagram, I'm like, I don't know at what point will I get the right shot. Like, how do you do it? Yeah. You just crack it open and just start shooting all over the gaff. Which is nice, and it's literally sick. this whole, because I wanted to do a smoke grenade shoot, but I'm just saying, nah, not for now, do you know? But there's loads of concepts that you can do in terms
Do it. Yeah.
of it visually, you know, that will make it look amazing.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
you've done so many things, and I'm trying to think, okay, cool, what shall I pinpoint next? Because now you've obviously rebranded,
Yep.
you know, went from KBD to KBD Picks, now Tori
Mhm.
Lens.
Mm.
You don't want to talk about the platform first. Let's talk about the platform first.
Go on.
You know, and then, you know, we can start, you know, doing some dives on some other bits.
Mhm.
But haircuts,
Mhm.
your latest
Endeavor.
endeavor, you know what I mean? And, you know, this is still in the realms of creativity, but also you put some purpose behind it. And one thing, you know, I've been talking to a lot of the artists about is, you know, telling their stories through their work. You've built a platform where women, specifically Black women, can talk about their journeys of why I shaved my head. You know, 9 times out of 10, you know, the typical thing maybe us males would think, oh, she crazy, man, she shaved her head, or bad breakup, or she's lesbian. Like
Yeah.
those are the three things that will pop in there. But some people just
Yep.
like, I just wanted to look different. I wanted to
Mm.
shave my head and do a design. Do you know what I mean? So
Mm.
what made you, and that's on your journey as well, because you shaved your head one day and I'm like, oh, what's going on? You know what I mean? But what made you transition onto building a phenomenal page?
So haircuts, people always say haircuts, HER
My
cuts.
bad,
It's
haircuts.
all right, it's all right. Yeah, haircuts was created, funny enough, which I think what makes it different, because usually the things I do are out of my own frustration, but there were frustrations that people voiced to me that were in my community of like Black women with shaved hair. I was constantly for like 3 years having conversations with people about women in particular, Black women in particular, Black women in London in particular, about the frustrations and the kind of like, what's the word? The stigmas that come with being like a Black woman with short hair, being a woman with short hair, then being a woman in London, like all these extra things, you know, all these sub contexts of like having shaved hair. I was having conversations over and over and over and over again. And I definitely am realizing how spiritual I am. And I'm very much spiritual. I'm very much believing like, not necessarily things happen for a reason, but like having a calling when things call you, that it's like for a reason. So being the person that I am, I was having this conversation. And in 1 week, I'd had 5 conversations with 5 different people. One of them being a woman I'd never met before. In literally a 2-second conversation before she got on the bus about, you know, oh my God, who cut your hair? It's amazing. I was like, yeah, I'll give him, oh my God, is it a barber? Is it like a barber? No, I'm not going to go. I'm not going to go. Like, she was like, your hair, she started with like, your hair's amazing. Oh my God, I need to get my hair cut. Where did you get it done? Like, she was like, tell me. And I was like, oh yeah, okay, so I'll give you a number of my barber. She's like, oh, barbershop, like all the men. No, I'm not going to do it. She goes, I'll take your number, but I'm not going to do it. And I was just like, what? Like, what do you mean? Like, she was so determined to get it. And then when she was like, barbershop, she was like, no, it's okay, I won't do it, it's fine, kind of thing. And I was like, what? And that was like the last conversation I'd had that week. And I was on my way to the barbershop, funny enough. And I was just like, wow, okay, this is definitely a thing. And then when I stepped into the barbershop, there was a girl there training to be a barber. And I was like, okay, yeah, okay, thank you, God, universe signs. I recognize them. Yeah, this is my 6th sign this week. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to start it. So I had a conversation with my friend that week about one of my friends saying how she had been going to barber, because we got our hair cut together when I was like 17. I've been cutting my hair for a long time, like the back of my head and all that kind of stuff for a long time. So it's not really new to me. I cut my hair off when I was in year 9 in school. I was completely off, shaved it. I had a little like top with the little curls and whatever. Like, so it's not really new to me. I think it's new to people that know me in this kind of like lifetime after like 25 up. They're kind of like, what? But yeah, so I had a conversation with my friend who'd been going barber about the same time as me. And we used to go together. And there's a barber that we kind of went to. barbershop, and wasn't necessarily the most positive experience. But it was cool because it was like heavily Nigerian, like people in that store. So, and we were Nigerian, so you kind of know how to kind of deal with that. You kind of know like when to ignore things, when to address things, when to not, like things are going to cause a problem. So we were kind of used to that. And then obviously I stopped going to barbers with her because I started growing my hair. Then when I cut my hair, I went to Ty's barber, Smurf. I went to his barber. I went to my barber. So his barber shop, my friend was working in his barber shop. So I went to his barber shop. Anyway, so she was telling me how the barber that she'd been with all this time basically started moving a bit mad, how he'd been trying to move to her, which again, that's a narrative that a lot of Black women are going to know about a barber trying to move to you, whatever, trying to do a madness, and even though you don't want to, and like really kind of using the fact that they're in their chair as an opportunity to kind of like really like try to go in and like get your number or whatever, which is again very uncomfortable to be in that environment in the first place, and having someone like in your ear and you actually really can't go anywhere, which is kind of like, yeah, not necessarily a positive experience, and not a lot of women or even people in general know how to deal with that. So you kind of just say, I'm not going to go back again kind of thing. So, yeah, she was basically saying how the barber that she'd moved to for a long time, she went to get her hair cut. And at the time she was, I think, 5 or 6 months pregnant, and he didn't know. So when she got there, he kind of was moving a bit mad. He kind of cut her hair. And then when she called him again, he kind of didn't answer. But she was saying how he was like, oh, like shocked that she was pregnant, like asking her questions and stuff. And I was like, what? Like, she'd been going to him for like years. And I was like, right, he was really that upset with you. Like he don't even answer your calls no more. Mad. Like, literally didn't answer her calls. And whereas before, whenever she called, he'd be like, yeah, come to the shop, I'll come to the shop, I'll cut your hair. Like, was on it. And then after, like, he just wasn't on it. And she's like, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know where to go. And I was like, oh, that's mad. She's like, it's so nuts. Like, as soon as I'm pregnant, like, you don't want to, like, what? It was so crazy. I was like, oh, so she had that. Then I was talking to my other friend who's, she's a lesbian, and she's saying that when she went to barbershop with her partner, she'd been at barbershop for ages and getting, like, an undercut, so it's like the sides and the back cut. And when she went in with her girlfriend, it all went a bit pear-shaped, like the people were moving mad, and she was in a predominantly Jamaican barbershops. They were talking all like quite reckless in there about certain things and gays and, you know, all that kind of stuff, and their opinions and certain things, close-minded opinions, let's say. And she was just frustrated. She was just like, it's mad, I've been going there for time. And it's like, when they found out I was a lesbian, it was all like crazy. I was just like, oh my God. So all these kind of ideals that I guess, like, not just the world, but like, I guess men in positions of, I want to say authority, I don't know if that's the right word, that put on women in those ideals. So it's kind of like, it's okay that you're getting your haircut as a Black woman as long as you stick in this box. You know what I mean? Like, and if you step out of that box, then it's not okay anymore, kind of thing. So, it was kind of like, I felt people's frustration having this conversation. I was like, oh my God. So then when I had the conversation with that stranger, and then when I went to barbershop, I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. I've been saying it for like 3 years. I'm going to do it. I'm just going to start it. I'm not going to tell anybody. I'm just going to start it to see if it's proof of concept. I don't want people to know it's me, because I want people to think like, oh, I want to support Tori's new thing. I wanted to make sure I had legs to stand on by itself. So I delved into that, and then delving into it, because it was a brand, and I guess I didn't necessarily see myself as a brand at the time, I kind of approached it differently. I approached it as if I was running a company, like a big brand. As in, like, it wasn't even myself. I'm running a company, running a brand. The ethos behind it was, you know, elevating and supporting women, celebrating women with Black women with short and shaved hairs, and finding barbers that would cut their hair without the extra narrative, the extra negative narrative, or, you know, those kind of things. And trying to find those barbers in London, which is extremely hard, even to today, extremely hard. And not because they're not out there, or because I find a lot of barbers don't necessarily market themselves well, which again, another thing popped in my mind. I was like, oh my God, I need to do marketing for barbers, because you guys are not really doing like the thing. Like, the people that come up are like Mark, you know, his Hader cuts, and not to say that he's the only one, he's amazing, but because he market himself really, really well, when you search it, he comes up. Do you know what I mean? He's really dominating that whole like narrative of being like a Black barber that's kind of like open-minded and really about, you know, life, you know, other things, and family and marriage, all that kind of stuff. But no one else really comes up, because barbers aren't really looking that way. And I think a lot of people, when they start a business, don't necessarily look that way. But anyway, Yeah, I did that. So I did that for a year and a half, I think, with nobody knowing it was me. I grew the platform. I had conversations with people that didn't know it was me. I really made a point of like celebrating people, and not just the women with the haircuts or the haircuts, as I call them, but the barbers too, which I thought was lacking and still is lacking on the Instagram platform. Like you either see the barber tagged or not the girl, or the girl tagged or not the woman, or on their platform they'd say, oh, barber cut by whoever, and never tag the woman, or the woman saying, oh, my new haircut is great, but never tag the barber. And it really frustrated me because I was like, this is amazing, who's the woman? Or this is amazing, who's the barber? Like, it frustrated me. And I think as a photographer, as an artist, not being credited really grinds my gears. So I had to make a point that when I start my platform, everybody's credited, including if it was a makeup artist, including if it was a stylist for the shoot, the photographer, everybody needs to be credited. Everybody needs to be given their just dessert, because it wasn't just a one-man thing. You know what I mean? It all came together to create that. So as much as the barbers got the skills, the woman sat in the chair and was like, yeah, do your thing. Or like, this is what I wanted. Do you know what I mean? It was like a 2-part effort. So yeah, I built that a year and a half. Within the first 4 to 5 months, I realized that it wasn't just people in London that felt this way. It was like all over the world, which shocked me. I thought like Americans were like, you know, like way ahead of us in terms of like their acceptance of it. There are a lot of Americans that are really like accepting of it because they're smart. You know, these are your customers. You're going to have more customers, but there are also some that weren't or were pretending to be kind of thing. And so that kind of like it kind of started it being a UK thing to now being a worldwide thing, which was kind of just like, what the hell? And then having, you know, looking for female barbers and finding female barbers in Nigeria, which I didn't even know existed. I was like, what? There's female barbers in Nigeria? What do you mean? Like, I don't even know a lot of female barbers down here, like black female barbers, you know what I mean? That cut women's hair, like specifically. There's not a lot that I know down here. Do you know what I mean? Not a lot that are great. I'm not going to say they're not out there, but I haven't come across them in my 3 years of doing this. So it was amazing to find, like, you know, barbers in Ghana, like that were cutting women's hair, women in Ghana going barbershop. I was like, what the heck? Like, it was amazing. So yeah, it became like a worldwide platform, although it is Haircuts UK, because it's started in the UK. It ended up being like, it is now like worldwide. I talked to barbers in Brazil, barbers in like Canada, like all over the place. So yeah, it's been really
like
cool.
The whole platform is just even like insane, you know, from the hair design, you know, from the stories, you know, the people that you're, you know, celebrating and empowering. You know, it's just a clear message. You know, some platforms, it even like building the platform, or even building your platform as an artist, photographer, and anything, that clear message always needs to be in play for people to, you know, to buy into you before they buy into what you do.
100%. That's what I say.
You know, they're saying that, you know, we run by a lot. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I'm happy that we managed to dive in through a lot of the creative stuff that you do and everything. I'll probably want to now turn it to because you're very good at giving phenomenal advice. You've done talks, you know, you've been on, you know, major news outlets, you know, even the Standard and everything like that, and spoke about your story. How do people overcome? Okay, let me just go direct to it, because it's just, like, artists now, they want to make it, they want to go viral, they want that life. Like, they're so frustrated as to where they are and everything like that. What advice would you give them in terms of, you know, building and being patient and overcoming? Like, what advice would you deliver to them?
I would say, well, first of all, building never stops. I think we feel like when we get to a certain point, we'll be happy, or when we get to a certain point, this will be this, because we've seen something that someone said, or something that we've watched someone's journey, and we think, okay, when I get to this whatever, then, you know, this amount of followers, I can do this. And it's never as simple as that. I think even when you're watching someone's journey closely, even if they're related to you, you're never really going to know the ins and outs of what they've gone, or what they're doing when you're not around, you know, what they're doing in their bedroom in the dark. You don't actually know the amount of hours they're putting into what they're doing. So you can never really look at someone and be like, yeah, I'm going to emulate that, or I'm going to be as successful as them, because you don't actually ever know, unless they tell you. Even when they do tell you, they might miss things because they don't even realize how important the little things they missed out is. So I would say, like, never, first of all, never chase numbers. Like, it's just because it will be a never ending game. You're going to always, okay, I want to get to 10K followers, for example. Then you get there, then you're like, oh, I want to get 20. Then you're like, oh, I want to get 50. Oh, I need to get 100K. Do you know what I mean? It never ends. If you're
one thing, sorry to cut you. Let you finish. One thing I understood about, you know, this numbers game, where I just, well, 9 times out of 10, I think is bullshit.
It is. It is.
It's always impact. No, sorry. I literally wrote this down a couple of days ago. Influence over numbers.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's influence and impact. I did use both terms. So it's just the influence you truly have and the impact you truly have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's just like, some people are rocking around with these mad numbers, but
they ain't doing nothing.
It's the not shifting culture or shifting anything with it. So sometimes it's just a bunch of digits.
Yeah, literally just as numbers
in your hand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, when you start to truly impact those numbers and impact the thing that you're building, then it becomes more phenomenal. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
And that's when you start to pay attention to the content of everything that you're posting. Okay, cool, I want to inspire, I want to showcase this, I want to do this, I want to do that. And the numbers then you just start to forget about it. You know what I mean? You start to forget about it. And as you forget about it, that's funny enough, that's how you start even to grow quite quicker. Do you know what I mean? But I think so many people are predicated on the numbers, and they sometimes just don't want to post. You know what I mean? They get disgruntled. Oh, why is he on 10K, or why is he on 8 or 9 or whatever, or 50 or whatever the number is? You know what I mean? You get frustrated, but you're just like, but are you impacting the 100 people that you currently have, or thousands? You know what I mean? But I can go on a tangent. You know me already.
No, I definitely agree. I feel like people, if you aren't, like you said, if you aren't impacting the 100, why do you deserve 200 followers? Why do you deserve 300 followers? You know what I mean? And majority of the time, which people forget, is most people that are getting these numbers or making an impact or whatever, which I realized from haircuts, which kind of like shifted my viewpoint, was the fact that I wasn't doing anything other than what I set out to do. I wanted to impact. I wanted to highlight these women that didn't, you know, I didn't care how many followers they had. I didn't care where they were in the world. I was like, yeah, that's dope. That looks dope. I'm going to put that out. Like, this is going to be inspiration for someone, or someone will be like, actually, you know, this dark skinned girl can rock yellow hair because people tell you can't. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, actually you can. Or actually, yeah, black girl can have short hair patterns in the hair and still look like a woman and not like a child. Do you know what I mean? Or like a little boy. Like, all these kind of things. Like, a girl with a sharp shape up head doesn't look like a man. Do you know what I mean? Like, all these little things that I would do. And because I'm highlighting those things, and I'm not necessarily saying they're wrong or right, but like posing the question. Do you know what I mean? Not saying it's right or wrong. I'm like, okay, so does this woman not look like a, do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't mean that she looks like a boy or whatever. Posing these questions and having people think and talk and debate and having a safe space to do that. People then told other people. I have people all the time saying, oh, I used to follow this page. Oh, I need to like, oh my God, would you get this haircut? And it was like, I wasn't chasing anybody. I was just serving the people that I had there and serving a community that I felt like was unseen. And because of that, people were sharing my page to me. They didn't even know that I was haircuts. So people were sharing haircuts page to me. And I was like, okay, I get it now. Like, I fully get it. It's not a thing of like, I'm trying to get them out of followers, because people will follow you and you entice them or whatever. They follow you and you ain't doing nothing. They don't unfollow you. We do that all the time. We all do that. We're like, I ain't even saying nothing, man. And you unfollow them. So what's the point in getting it if you can't maintain it? Do you know what I mean? And it definitely goes down to like your ethos and like why you're doing what you're doing. If what you're doing is, you know, purpose, impactful, even if it may be seemingly selfish, then it doesn't really matter, because what you do will appeal to your people, your tribe. Do you know what I mean? It will appeal to those people. It won't appeal to everybody. And like you said, numbers don't mean anything. There are people that are making an impact with 2,000 followers, 1,000 followers. Do you know what I mean? 900 followers. They're making an impact. I follow people that I'm looking at and I'm like, bro, why do you only have 900 followers? You're dope. But
Yeah.
I love your content, and I always share your content, and it's only a matter of time before the rest of the world catches up. Do you know what I mean? And people are just, I'm like, just do what you're doing. Like, don't ever watch numbers. And I feel like that is where people get tripped up.
Yeah.
You're watching numbers. And remember that like numbers, like I said, they're just numbers. They're what's the word? They can be manipulated.
Yeah, it's like because
they can be manipulated.
All these numbers, like they're just. Listen, we know the boosters. We know all that.
Exactly.
So, we won't like heavily get into that because
yeah,
we'll be on the rant ones. But it's one of those ones, and I definitely took inspiration from what you've done with haircuts. What you done with haircuts, from. What and actually, from that on a social front, but even from the beginning of Art Meets Music, it's like, who knew these artists, at the time? Like, these artists probably didn't have the thousands. They just had like maybe 200 here or 1,000. But it was about believing in their talent and their work, and say, look, you're dope, let's do something. And that's traveled into the digital form now. Is just connecting and talking to people via the podcast and be like, let's just have a conversation because I just think you're sick, and it's like me learning all my skills over the years, from branding, from marketing, promotions, event organization. I'd be a fool to not give that service to these guys, you know what I mean, and help them out. So I think we're in a position where we're building things that are bigger than us, and we're allowing our skills to assist dope people.
100%. I think one thing that you said, which kind of like sparked a thought in my head, was like, numbers doesn't equal dopeness. Like, you can be an incredible artist and have 2 followers on Instagram. You can, you know what I mean, or you have 200 followers, let's say, for example, on Instagram. It doesn't mean you're any less dope or you're any less talented. And also having 1 million followers on Instagram don't mean that you're dope. Like, it doesn't mean, it just means you have people that are following you for whatever reason, we don't know. You know what I mean? So I would say, like, those people that are chasing, like, I want to bust, I want to like go viral. It's not just that element. And even the elements of going viral isn't just one element. It isn't just like you made a video and people were like, oh, this is funny, and it went like cool, or this was cool, or this was a dope song, and it kind of went that way. It's kind of like, when that happens, or if that does happen, that usually happens because someone has a skill, or they've worked to a certain point, like, and you're like, raw, when you click on that person that went viral, you see their past working, like, raw, they've done bare work, or they've been doing it for 10 years. You know what I mean? I use what's his name, Jordan Peele, as an example. I was talking about him the other day. The director that everyone's like, he came out of nowhere. It's like, no. He's been doing this for 10 years plus. 10 years that we've seen on YouTube. But prior to that, he was doing stuff. It's just he didn't put it on YouTube. So this guy's been doing it for like 20 years. He didn't come out of nowhere. So when he shot to success, if you like, air quotes, he was ready for it. How many people are hoping for this viralness and not even ready when it comes? How many people do you know that how many people have you seen that they've gone viral and they've disappeared because they weren't even ready?
I've seen a lot of that lately, where it's just like everybody's chasing, oh, let me do something on trend. Let me do something on trend. And that don't even make you a trendsetter. Do you know what I mean? And I think, the reason why it takes so long for, like, your Jordan Peele's, Tyler Perry's, to name a few that's just in my mind right now. It takes long because we're not willing to do the cliche shit.
Right.
We're not willing to do the viral thing. We'll take our time because we are the trendsetters. We are the people to be like, I'm going to do something over there because that's different. I'm gonna take it there because I don't want to chase the viral moment, because I know it won't serve me, because I won't be ready for it. Because if Art Meets Music did a madness year 1, I would have collapsed. Throughout, you know what I mean, and
it would have fallen flat.
It would have fallen flat because I didn't. I still, even then, I didn't understand the art game, how it worked or nothing. It was just cool and I loved it. Now I'm equipped with more knowledge, and at the same time of doing Art Meets Music, I was working for labels, media companies, doing social media freelancers and learning my skills. And now when I come back, which is here, I'm literally fully ready for everything. Do you know what I mean? So
right. And you can
definitely,
orchestrate things the way you want to, rather than the way someone
exactly.
else has done it because they've gone viral. And now the whole world is trying to on you like, oh, it's like, I've orchestrated this and I've planned this the way that I want to plan this. Do you know what I mean? And the people that have taken their time, it's like, you know that it's not even just a thing of like, I don't want to chase a trend, because some of them do chase a trend, but they know they can sustain it because they've done things prior. They know that I can do this over and over and over and over again. I know I can, you know what I mean? I can do this. And even if I do on the trend, I can swivel.
Yeah.
Some people don't know how to swivel, so they stay on trend and they feel like they're stuck. They're like, oh my God, I'm stuck in doing this thing now. Oh my God. And then you end up hating it. You end up being like, I'm trying to just do the same thing over and over again, stay on trend, and you're now feeling like it's a job. I have to know what's coming next and be like on it kind of thing. And you end up following like someone else's shadow, someone else's coattails. You're not actually creating your own thing or doing things the way you want to do it because you're so hungry for fame. But also for like, you have to realize the people that you're following as well, the people that you're looking at, because a lot of people are feeding people like fake realities, like a lot. And I say a lot, I mean like a lot of people are feeding fake realities. Some of them it's not intentional, because again, you only show people what you want them to see. So it's not necessarily you're doing it intentionally, but you don't necessarily want people to know your business. You're kind of just showing the highlights, which is fine. But if people think that the highlights is your whole life, then that's when people fall short, and they're just like, oh, this person's going through this and this person's doing this and doing amazing things. And you're like, actually, no, I don't need to tell you my whole life story, but it's not that kind of thing. And I feel like there is some sort of responsibility for people that are out there, cultivating and like trend setting, and people are looking to kind of like give a reality check, not all the time, but every so often, so people can actually realize that actually life has ups and downs, and fame has ups and downs, and success has ups and downs. It's not one straight thing. It's not like I'm going to get here, I want to be successful. And successful looks different to different people. There are people that I know that are like incredible directors that make even someone I know is an incredible actor, and he doesn't have that much that much Instagram followers. He doesn't, because he doesn't care about that. He cares about his art. He cares about his art form. He cares about what he's doing as an actor. He's only got it because they told him, you need to get one. You need to have an online presence. So he's like, okay, cool, I got it. Got a couple thousand followers, but he's in like 7, 10, 11 movies that have been in the cinema. You'd be like, what? And he's mad humble. And it's just like, numbers don't equate talent. Talent doesn't equate money.
Who are you talking about, by the way?
Oh my God. That David Ajala. David Ajala.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's been in like a lot of movies, a lot of stuff. He's in like a online series now, that the Superman series. Like he's in that. Like, what do you mean? Like on freaking Sky. What do you mean? He's in freaking movies. I went to cinema a couple of years ago. I was like, oh my God, David, what the heck? I didn't know he was in this kind of thing. Like playing big roles, big parts. And David Ajala, and his online presence isn't that big.
I think I know him.
And he's mad humble, man. He's on 11K now. Okay, but
sorry, I'm being nosy because I need.
Yeah, he's on 11K followers now, but he wasn't for the longest time.
I think I watched that series. David, how do you spell his surname?
Ajala.
Ajala. Yes.
Yeah.
The guy.
And he wasn't. The thing about it is,
he was Manchester Black in Supergirl.
Yes.
Yeah, he's hard.
And he's only just like reached 11K as of recent, because a couple months ago he wasn't even on that. And I think it's only because he's in like TV and stuff. But even look at his likes and stuff, is like because he just does what he wants. Even you look at his Instagram, it's not like all polished, and he's just doing what he wants to do. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like there are people out there that are like that. Someone's like, oh my God, he's only on 11K, and he's, you know what I mean, he's on doing all these things. It's like, yeah, because he doesn't care, and it's not about the numbers. Like you said, it's about the impact. Like, what are you doing when you're not on Instagram? What are you doing when you're not on Instagram? Yeah,
because he made a big impact. Even when I saw him on Supergirl, his acting was just sick. You know what I mean?
Right?
I was like, he actually played this role damn good, and it didn't look amateur. Do you know what I mean?
And if you meet him, he's a mad cool guy. But
no, yeah, dope guy. I've never met him. I did see him in Dark Knight Rises. I know he was in Batman as well. But yeah, now I was coming back and saying, Tours, like, I think we need a part 2. I think we need a part 2 at some point.
It's a part 2 thing.
Because it's like we always have epic conversations, and I think I've tried to narrow it down as much as possible to get you to talk about that side, because we haven't talked about, you know, the stuff that you're doing. You do teaching, you got your own YouTube channel, everything, like all these things we haven't dived in. So it does require a part two, which I'm definitely going to do once I get through my list of artists to
man,
talk to. But yeah, there'll be more conversations about that. And, you know, you give phenomenal advice and everything like that. But again, thank you for taking the time, because we know this could have been a 3-hour podcast.
No, it literally could have.
You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
But yeah.
For those that don't know, me and Ade have like 3-hour conversations minimum.
Yeah,
like,
and that creative juices, once it's flowing, like we just go and just talk, do you know what I mean? And this is like how, you know, we pushed on Ishkature, pushed on artist music, you know, and, you know, the stuff that we do on a day-to-day. So it's just, you know, this is where, when people say have creative people around you, this is conversations you will have with every creative person. They last 3 to 4 hours, you know what I mean? I've got some of my boys, you know what I mean, as well. But yeah, you have long conversations just talking about creativity and shit.
Right.
But yeah, tell everybody where to find you and everything like that.
So my personal Instagram is at just1tori, JUST1TORI. My photography and videography and creative directing Instagram is Tori Lens, TORI.
Which is a genius name, if people know. And for the time, Tori Lanez is hard right now, and you've got Tori Lens.
Tori Lens. Yeah, my friend actually called me that, like, as a nickname. I was like, I'm using that. Anyway, yeah. Tori.lens, TORI.LENS. And then any haircut stuff will be Haircuts UK, HERCUTS UK.
Perfect, T. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Cool. We'll definitely holler.
Bye.
All right, take care.